Migoetria. Sumusuna Shumasana, Abinum, Shawinum, Gabinum, Guedinum, Namania Kia, Namania Kika, Japanan, same visit Dawi, Chichiki, and you Wakwakan, you Abinum, you Lands, you open my work, you easy, same you be on my air, Nabawi, you Kikito, you Maji Tunami, you Jade, you Egua Ishpaming, you Big you and crazy gay you straight them out you calling gay go out with these been the gay you shit you get and you must see which you become when you do go over down and see mama aki
Oh, well, Miigwech, Merlin, thank you. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 9:26 a.m. Michael, do you want to do roll call, please?
District 1?
Here.
District 2?
Here.
District 3?
Here.
And I'm here, John.
We have a quorum. Miigwech, thank you. Next up is review and approve of the agenda. Additions, deletions. Tonya?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I have two additions to the consent agenda, both from the Behavioral Health Department, one for community councils and one for authorization of grant application.
Miigwech.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add the impact aid for Wagner School resolution to be amended and
Approved.
yep, on the consent agenda.
Okay, in the consent agenda.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman,
What was the discussion on it?
I'd like to request that to be moved into executive session for discussion, please.
Okay.
And then also, Mr. Chairman, I would like to respectfully request in executive session, a discussion regarding policy and procedures.
And Mr. Chairman, I just have a question on one of the letters in the consent agenda. If we can, I don't know, probably move that to executive.
Okay. All right, we can review that.
Okay, which?
Anything else?
Not that it has to do with the agenda, but can we please make sure everybody's using a microphone? As they won't be able to hear people on the radio, they probably can't hear it on YouTube as well. So just keep that in.
Because then I'll pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Have your assistant walk around with the microphone. Can your assistant?
Right?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Annie,
Second.
second by Eugene. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up are meeting minutes from 12/1/22 and also 12/30/22. Yeah, 12/30, so.
make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman, the December 1st meeting minutes.
Annie, is that for both of them?
Oh, did you say both of them?
Yeah, for 12,
I only went.
12-1, and also 12-30.
Yes, I'll motion to approve both.
Okay. Motion to approve 12-1 of 22 and also 12-30 of 22.
Second.
Second by Henry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next up on the agenda is the reports from the officers and the council members. And I guess first of all, I want to say thank you and for everyone for coming today. And I'll keep my report brief because I know that as tribal council, we've been doing a lot of traveling to the Capitol, working on our legislation for this year. And, and that's just, also meeting with the governor and with the commissioners. One thing with the state of Minnesota is unique is that we have this huge surplus, like a $16 billion surplus. So one thing that our team, when I say our team, it's the council and our directors and our managers that are working with these agencies, like anywhere from the Minnesota Department of Agriculture to DNR to DHS, that we know that each of these agencies are getting surplus monies to trickle down to not only to the Minnesotans, but also to the tribal nations. And that's one thing that, we made, I guess, as the council a priority that we get a call and we find out what's going to be given to each of the tribes that we can go after. And that's one thing that we've been really kind of on the ball with that. So I think it's really important that, at all levels of our legislation, because we have several things in there. One of the biggest things that I feel is really important is the Monoman Community Health Building. I know we have submitted our data, and Eugene can probably elaborate a little more on it, but I know that we've been very vocal about that. And when we were down in St. Paul last week, we got a lot of good feedback on that and from the legislators out there in support of it. So it was something that was really good to see, and the other legislation is information that we provided to the legislators was really good positive feedback on a lot of the things that we're doing with anywhere from our police department to our cannabis to DHS. We were all done. It was good. It was just a really good walk through the Capitol last week. So it was good to talk to a lot of the majority leaders and talking to a lot of the state reps. I know there's a lot of legislation out there. I know that this year, like you said, it's kind of like a wish list legislation with all the money that the state of Minnesota has. So, and then the federal side, again, we go again because next week I'll be out in DC and I'll be advocating for a lot of different things that we're doing. And one of the biggest things that we're working on as the council is looking at getting back the Tamarack National Refuge. And that's one thing I know that we have a lot of documents on, and historical documents with the refuge, and we're gonna have to. I have meetings with Stauber, with Betty McCollum, with Tina Smith, and I think Amy Klobuchar. So I will be out there representing White Earth out in DC next week, and along with the Tamarack Refuges also, I do want to have a consultation with the Department of Interior, with Devin Holland too, eventually, to talk about this too. So, there's a lot of good things that we're doing, and this is something that, this is the exciting part about, my job is advocating and helping and doing what I can as a chairman to go out and advocate for not only all of our, but the future of our kids and the future of our nation. So it's something that's very important, and I'm very, pleased to announce that we're doing that. So, and we are all working hard for our people. So, and I want to say miigwech and thank you. So I'll hand it over to Michael.
Good morning, everybody. Just kind of taking a look at my schedule and, just reiterate what Chairman Fairbanks said. We were out last week at the Capitol, and we had some good visits out there and stuff like that. So met with a lot of representatives and a lot of senators on a lot of issues going on in Minnesota here and stuff like that, especially with the tribe and that stuff. So but kind of looking at my schedule, you know, just from the last month and that, we attended, they had the elders Christmas party that was rescheduled to the 4th. That was a very good day there. We had quite a few elders show up and all that, and yeah, I think it was really a good day. It was, so everybody had a good time there. They had some you know, they had some good entertainment from me, of course, and stuff like that. But our MC that we had was telling some jokes, but I don't know, Tito, that those jokes are kind of, I don't know if those jokes are very good at all.
I don't know,
No, I'm just joking, Tito. Then, you know, just going through my list of stuff that we did last month and stuff like that is just, you know, I'm looking at, you know, after the elders' Christmas party and stuff like that. And we also been meeting with the housing board and stuff like that, kind of trying to get them back on track and stuff like that. A lot of our boards and commissions, we've been kind of looking at, not only our housing board, our enterprises board, also our, you know, our Wabagamashkiki board and stuff like that. We've just been kind of getting out there and meeting with them and making sure that everything's moving forward and stuff like that. So we met with the COLA school board the other day and just getting some updates from them and stuff like that. So we haven't met with the elders commission lately, but we're expecting an update today from the elders commission anyway. So, and I know the elders, the WCOE, you guys put your stuff on hold for the winter because of the weather and stuff like that. So we haven't had to meet with you guys again. So
We never put it on hold.
well, I mean, for the winter, because of the stuff, so, and on that stuff there, so. But other than that, just, you know, just attending meetings, we were down at, MIGA the other day. We went, when we were at the Capitol, we attended MIGA, the Minnesota Indian Gaming Association, meeting and stuff like that, talking a little bit about our sports betting and stuff like that, the sports book that we're looking at. Maybe getting the state of Minnesota and involved in all that stuff like that, so we can get our sports book up and running here at the casino and stuff like that. So, and just looking again at my schedule here, just kind of going over what we did the last month and stuff like that. So I think I covered just about everything we got. The only other thing I have to cover is our the timeline for our secretarial election that's coming up here with the MCT. We're going to be heading over to Black Bear tomorrow for subcommittees, and we got MCT on Friday at the Black Bear Casino, and we're going to be talking a little bit about some timelines for the secretarial election for the chairman. I think it's honoring, what would it be? It would be honoring any Chippewa blood in the United States, I guess, that you can use. But we approved the secretarial election, so, and there's a timeline on it. And one things that we had is our enrollments department had approached us, and our delegates approached us and said that we needed some time to get our addresses updated. So we're looking at maybe doing a 2-month extension on it before we start the time clock on it. So, because once we start the time clock on it, we have so much time for them to do the election. So, but we want to make sure we get all of our addresses updated. We get everything all good to go by the time we do this secretarial election. So, and you got to understand that there's got to be 30% of the, I believe it's the registered voters that makes it valid. So a lot of people don't understand that it needs to be 30%. So
No, of the population.
30% of the population of all 6 tribes. So and stuff like that. So, but that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Bonjour everyone, it's Dean Sommer. So my update is, like the chairman said, we're at the Capitol meeting with our state representatives and senators. And the things on our agenda were concurrent state jurisdiction. Mike would have said more about that. And then the medical cannabis bill, sports betting, and our wellness center, and then strengthening MIFPA, which is the Minnesota Indian Family Preservation Act. So those are the things on our agenda. And I think we made a lot of headway. I sure learned a whole lot and learned about our relationships with our state partners. And I feel like it was a good meeting. And then for our wellness center, we're dual tracking it. So we got it in the bonding bill, but it's also on a separate bill. And we had let's see, some of our Republican and Democratic support on it. So it's looking promising. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see, some other stuff going on. We did meet, me and Henry met with the roads department yesterday. They're talking about that construction they're doing on Highway 200 by Roy Lake there. So we're widening the road to make a walking path, but everybody thinks right now it's because there's no barrier between it, so people are driving on it and running it up pretty bad. So we're looking at putting up a barrier there soon this spring. And then we did meet with RVIG last week, and they're doing a proposed fiber build out in Natowash. We kind of moved it around a little bit. We wanted them to serve more of the Blair Road area because we know there's not a lot of internet service providers there. So we're waiting for them to come back with a updated proposed build out sheet. And then we'll be looking at that, see if we'll support that. And then we've been meeting a lot with IHS on this 105 leases. I know we're trying to utilize the 105 lease program as much as possible to cut down some of the costs on the general fund. And then, like everyone said, we have our TEC meeting. I have my subcommittee meeting tomorrow, and I'll probably be heading back. I don't think I'll stay for the TEC meeting. And then we did have a CAFO informational meeting here last night, so that's a concentrated animal feeding operation. And we had our, I suppose Antonio can talk about that. But what we're looking for harvesters or anybody that hunts in those areas to come and give us feedback. But that's my update.
Boozoo, Henry Fox, District 1 Rep. A little bit about, all of the, meetings down in the metro area and all of what we got here, and a lot of them on Teams, a lot of them on Zoom. They're all good. They're all good to me, when we could at least get, representation in there from us as a council. And we bring that from you guys as our people, And Eugene shared a little bit about the Highway 200 construction there through Roy Lake, and worked with Mike Bowman there. He was not really satisfied, with the safety of it around the lake there especially. But we did, come up with some solutions yesterday that they were gonna go try and go back to the Minnesota Department of Transportation and to make it more safer. And I'm glad they came in and listened to us, and they gave us, we gave them the directive, and hopefully they can pull through and make it better. I mean, I myself was picturing this big sidewalk, but it never turned out that way. They even had what they call a buffer in there. The buffer isn't working right now. I think the buffer will just be a rut. So we talked about that too, so. Went up to, been going to the 1855 Treaty Authority meetings. We had a couple there, and then I think the weather kind of canceled one out. But we went up to Grand Rapids here, I believe it was on the beginning of the month, anyway. And there's quite a lot of people on that treaty thing that show up and everything, and how knowledgeable they are to it is really, really great. There was some vacancies on there, and Dale Green, I think from Blacks, got the chairman piece of it. And then they nominated me, and I was set on the board as the vice chair for the 1855 Treaty Authority. So we are, Mike, Secretary LaRock came up there too, and it was a pretty interesting day. We went, from probably about 10 o'clock that morning all the way till 8, 9 o'clock that evening. But it was good, and we're going to be doing more meetings too. I think the next one is in Mille Lacs in April, I believe. So we'll be heading down there in April for that. Just trying to hang around into the building down there in Rice Lake. I know they're having problems with telephone and internet service. So like Eugene said, you You go down to Blair Road and you see people standing on the roof, you know, think they're fixing their roof, but they're trying to get a signal. But that's the way it used to be years ago, but we're trying to make that better all the way around the reservation, so hopefully we can make that happen. And then, you know, like I said with the center, the upkeep of them, you know, is very important to our staff that are in there. You know, with internet service and, your telephones especially. People know when their phones aren't working, you know? And some of them get kind of upset, but hey, we try to do our best to fix it. I know I probably shared last month about the upgrade of the lights in our gym up there. We upgraded to LEDs and it's pretty bright in there now. It's like you can see people. Before it was like, how do you turn these lights on? I said, well, I never knew how to turn on a burnt out light bulb, but now it's great, so. And that's where, you know, they house our Boys and Girls Club and our Head Start there too, and they utilize that gym quite a bit, so. I'm glad we got it fixed up. And, like I said, you know, we're busy, we're on the road. Everybody's gonna be heading to Black Bear, so I'll take off 4 in the morning, head there, so. I like driving, but, you know, I got things at home too, you know, that need, taken care of right now, so. So that's kind of my update. We wish you all for being here, and here you go, Annie.
With Henry. First of all, I want to send out my condolences to those who lost their loved ones within the past month. It's really sad, you know, especially when it's our young ones. But I do send my love and hugs to all the family. The first update I'd like to give is housing director. That should be interviewed hopefully next week. And once that one is hired, the other positions will be filled also, so that the director can have input on them. Our Circle Back program, which works with our children, has moved now to the Jackhaw because the Christian retreat is going under phase 1 remodeling. So once that side, phase 1 is done, I think they will move back. And then it'll go to phase 2, phase 3, but it's going to be a family treatment center out there. It's gonna have a couple houses out there for families once, you know, they get going on their wellness and be able to have their children with them right there. We met with COLA, White Earth Housing Authority, Enterprise, boards. Yesterday I sat down with ICWA for a little while just to get updates, and it went real well. I mean, they're pushing forward. So, you know, there is a lot of bad things out there said about ICWA, but they also try to do a lot of good things. And they're looking at some real good things coming up, and I'm really proud of the direction they're going in. Education, I sat down with Dana yesterday and got a little update on impact aid, which we will be discussing later. I did get the IPP from Wobbin and I kind of skimmed through it, but I'm gonna look at it a little more. Because my grandchildren attend Wobbin, and I know a lot of, you know, our grandchildren and children attend Wobbin. So I just wanna make sure what they're saying in there is, you know, true, and that they're doing what they put on paper. The elders' Christmas party, always a fun time. I had a great time. I actually got to play bingo because I just turned elder, so didn't win, but I had fun. Yesterday there was a info meeting on the CAFOs that are going up here. It was held noon to 7. I didn't know about it till yesterday, so I said, "Big, stop in for a little bit," and there wasn't many in attendance when I stopped in, so I don't know how many attended, but it was just an informational meeting, and I think a lot of good information was given out at that time. We do have a fishing derby coming up February 4th. It got moved from Tullaby Lake to North Twin. So if anybody wants to attend that, I mean, they got some great prizes. Street lights, I'm working right, I'm gonna be meeting with Mike Bowman in housing to see what we currently have because I wanna get, our communities lit up. You know, it's about time and, you know, to me, lighting will help cut down on the unlawful stuff that goes on all the time and, you know, but we do need to get, I know Pine Point wants some on some of their trails, but there might have to be some solar lights or something out there, but as long as we can get something in there, you know, for our people. We did attend the round dance was up here this past weekend and that went well. I mean, it was my first one I've ever attended. And it was awesome, I mean, with the singers and seeing the kids being involved. We had three young women, teenagers, I do believe, that danced almost every dance and it was awesome. And I mean, just the kids would go up to the table and sing and, you know, I got to judge one of the, for the first round of the what was hand drum contest, and I'm a bad judge because they all sound good to me, so I was like, you picked the wrong person, but I got through it. But it was really an awesome event, you know, so I have to give kudos to the health department for putting that on. I think that's it for me. Miigwech.
I just have to add a couple more things, you know, I always have to be the last one to talk, I guess, so. Anyways, no, one of the updates that I wanted to give as far as, is what I'm planning on doing is I've been meeting with the divisional directors and stuff like that, just to make sure that their grants are on time and stuff like that, so. We've been doing that and and I'm gonna probably feature those in my monthly articles in the Anishinaabe too, so. But if you see that in the paper, you'll know that I picked a couple divisions to, basically spotlight on, you know, what their budgets are and if they're on time with their budgets and they're not going over their budgets and stuff like that. So I just wanted to mention that quickly, Mitch.
All right, thank you, Council. I know that we touched on a lot of different things that we've been doing in the last month, and you know, one of the things I know that Eugene was kind of hitting on with the RBIG and some of the other internet and broadband companies, and you know, remember that we do have a Public Utility Commission. You know, we do have a vacancy on there, so we want everyone to apply for that. Hopefully, that has knowledge of utilities. So that's something that's very important to us because that's one thing that us as a council, we're supporting these committees and these boards to represent us in these areas, especially with expertise in these areas of broadband, internet, you know, solar, wind, power. So it's important that we have these, and also we met with the school boards here in front of us now, and you know, it's good that, you know, we have that relationship with all of our boards that we can communicate and talk about and how we can all come together and put our heads together and solve these different issues and problems, or otherwise, the good part is planning good things for the future of not only our children, but everyone that's on the reservation. So these are some good things that we're doing here in White Earth, and I think it's all good. And, you know, Eugene talked about the CAF a little bit, and, you know, that's been ongoing for a while. And, you know, we had that event yesterday with, you know, one of the big things that we're getting this, we're gathering this information from the harvesters, because it's really important because, you know, they're looking at putting up a 21,000 head cattle just west of here, I'm sorry, over towards Ada that way. And, you know, that's really, really super big, and it's huge, and it's like, it's gonna be a impact on not only the groundwater, but also the tributaries that run or in through it. And those are some things that we as the council here are very, very aware that we don't want these around because they're known pollutants. You know, they're not good. And I mean, if you guys ever seen the presentation that one of our legal did yesterday, it just shows the amount of polluted water in the southwestern area of our state of Minnesota where the bulk of these CAFOs are at. And they have to drink bottled water. They can't drink their tap water. They have to just bring in their water themselves. So it's at a point where, do we want this around us? I don't think so. You know, this is something that we all are in this whole room here, are water protectors, and I think it's important that we stand hard and we fight, you know, and that's we're doing for all of us in this room. So I think it's important that this issue is addressed and that, you know, and when we put our moratorium out there, a lot of people, you know, open their eyes up and they're asking us all these questions. Even the Commissioner Ag is asking us how we're doing with this moratorium. And, you know, it's good that we have a really good, strong defense right now. And it's important that we're doing good things here. So I'm really happy and that, I think council we're in a good place here. So I want to say big good. So, all right, next up, I have a few reports here. The first one is the housing report. I'm just gonna go through these pretty fast, and there's,
Elders first.
is it elders?
Elders are first. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, the elders council, my bad.
Shame on you. Are you ready? I hope this is working. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us after almost being forgotten. I want to add a few comments with some of the reports that were given. For us as water protectors, in White Earth, in Natawash, in Pine Point, all our communities now can't drink the water. They are buying bottled water already, and that shouldn't be, because water is so horrible. So we asked many times, you know, please do something with the water systems around here, because people cannot drink that dirty water. We need some, and we had asked in the past, we have that old Quonset building in White Earth where elders do arts and crafts and so forth. We store a lot of our things. It's been broken into so many times, and we were down there the other day. The windows are shut up again. So could we at least get a security camera or something in there? Because the windows are all shattered again with, I don't know if they're BB guns or what, but.
Which building is that?
You know the Quonset right across from the restaurant in
The
White Earth?
double wide trailers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where the library and everything is, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But
That's your soul
the
shop.
library has one facing north, but our side there's no cameras.
Okay. You guys, your sewing shop there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been stolen. All our items out there were stolen. We're trying to rebuild now.
Oh, okay.
So if we could at least get a security camera
Yeah, you
down
can do
there.
that. Meet with me and I'll send Nate over there and he'll configure it, we'll get 2 cameras in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to say something about the Christian retreat. When they were moving out, they called me the day before and they had some items that either were gonna be thrown. So we went out there and picked out some things. And I tell you, I never felt so good with the crew that were out there. They were so respectful. They helped us load up these rags, it was cut up for sewing. So we got those things, and they're for rugs, I guess. And we know several people that make rugs that we can give them to. Plus, they give us some other items that we're going to use for bingo prizes. Because you guys won't let us make money from bingo. But I just want to again say thank you so much to that crew. They just made us feel real good because they were very respectful.
before I forget, I was elected the vice chair for the Wisdom Step program from the state of Minnesota. 11 reservations that are involved. So what I need from you guys is to change, I was an alternate before on the board. Now I would be the board member and I need an alternate because when we lost Bev Carson, you know, it's very difficult to step into her shoes because she was working and had a whole connection so she could do the programs. I'm trying to redo all this and then I wanna have it so if something happens to me, that my alternate can step right in. But I have a name and I'd ask for your approval to name me as the board member and Tim Rindle as my alternate. So I will get a letter
Wisdom
to
steps.
you.
Oh, okay.
He's the chef he's an elder that cooks at Natawash. But he had agreed to be a part of this and he is a part of the Wisdom Step program already, so. And we have a couple advisory members. Polly Neeson is also going to be on the advisory board. She is non-Indian, so not eligible to be on any board, so. But she can sit, you know, come to the meetings and I talked with her boss and Polly is gonna be able to help me with a whole lot of things connected with Wisdom Steps. One of the big things is we're having our Wisdom Step conference. Want to remind you guys in June and hopefully you'll be around to be there to welcome our guests. We generally have 350 to 400 people. So we're bringing in revenue too for this.
What's the date? What's the date of that again?
Hold on.
Wait.
It's no, that's July, pardon me, hold on. Right after the powwow, the 13th through the, what is that? 15th. I don't have my glasses, darn it. Put these on. 13th through the 15th. So at the beginning and if you guys can be there to welcome our guests, that would be nice. When Deb was alive, her and I fought hard to bring our conference back here because it hadn't been here for quite some time. So, you know, we worked hard on that program it's a preventive health program and for elders in the state of Minnesota. So each reservation has their own agendas and so forth. I was gonna say, and stuff like that, that's Mike's favorite word. We feel bad, and like Annie said, with all the recent ODs, the deaths, sudden deaths of people, especially like Bev Carson. She was a big help to our communities, did a lot. Many people think alcohol isn't one of the prevalent issues. It certainly is for us because we're seeing people dying from liver disease, kidney disease. So we have to look at that alcoholism seriously again. Safety, housing, I want to hear those kinds of reports because we have a lot of concerns with with those issues. Do you want me to wait until you report, somebody reports on Indian Health Service, because I have a lot to say there, or should I do it here? You want to cover that in your program updates? Nobody ever comes from Indian Health Service. I'll say some things because I think it needs to be said. Indian Health Service is in a big mess now. There's so many problems there. We tried to meet and have kept on meeting with Indian Health Service. And every time we get to the point of where we're going to see something happen, the area office shifts people around so that we have to almost start over again. You know, I'm so upset with them now. We thought we were getting somewhere with the recent, and problems are happening all the time down there. It really hurts me when one of our elders was having severe headaches and kept going to the clinic, and they would say, nothing wrong, just go home, take some aspirin, or Tylenol, I guess it was. It ended up that one lady had 3 aneurysms, is currently still in the hospital. Neglectful healthcare, I call it, I really do. And that person damn near died. It's not okay to ignore these problems. We've had others that have had similar problems with the clinic when they go down there. They tell them either to go home and take a couple aspirin or, get some rest. Yeah, it's all in your head. We're just complaining elders. The last one I heard was they can't get a CEO down there because of the elders. They're blaming us now because we ask questions. And we're not gonna stop asking questions because it's our health care and our families that we're looking out for. You guys were talking about, our future generations. That's what we're concerned about. Because when we go, we want to make sure our families are taken care of. No person that doesn't have a serious illness should not just be, falling over from a stroke, from all these things. Education has to happen again because so many things are going on. The meetings have stopped with Indian Health Service. I don't know what the hell's going on there anymore. We get no answers and we need them. So we're asking our council. I don't even want to go to Bemidji anymore, to meet with them. They are ignoring the problem. We're gonna lose that clinic. They don't even have certified people down there and can't bill anymore. We had some research done and that's causing a problem. They got people working from home, not even down there. We got one of the doctors that sees 4 patients a week and is the clinical director working from home in South Dakota. Is that okay? And being paid $350,000. I can't agree with that. So many people are working from home, and what are they doing? I know that was necessary during the pandemic, but We've got to bring people back to work, back to their jobs. That's what they're being paid for, not to sit at home. I'm sorry, this is really a big, big concern of mine. And I think we have to do something. Either the tribe goes 638 to take over that program, or it's gonna dissolve itself. And that was our treaty right program. We give up a lot, our elders did from the past. Gave up land, gave up whatever in exchange for good health care that was supposed to be provided. I want
Peter, can I make
more
a
during
comment?
I'll finish my other report and we'll go.
Okay.
Okay, I will bring you the letter, I'll write it for that, so you guys can sign it on the board. If you would just approve it for me today. I'm begging someone that can write a grant, or you talked about surplus monies from the state. Can we get some furniture in that congregate building? Their couches are sitting on the floor.
Secondhand when we got it.
Yeah, they were secondhand when they got them.
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Can we find a way to get some decent furniture for that building? For the elders, they do sit out there, they visit out there, they work puzzles out there. That's a social environment, so I just, I know that furniture is so bad there. And what, where's that surplus money's gonna go for when it comes to our tribe? I wanted to give recognition to the White Earth Home Health Agency. I think we have one of the best, probably in the nation. They've got more nurses that go out and visit and do. That is a good program. Unfortunately, when we talked about some of the people that didn't get checked on, they have no nursing service, so the nurses don't visit them. But the nurses that go out, I hear nothing but good comments from our people about the service that they get there. So kudos to them. I covered most of the issues. I guess you're gonna try to meet somebody on the renovations, Annie?
Yep.
Okay. That are gonna be done up there. That's a little bit of what we had. We don't meet during the months of January, February, and March because of weather and safety for our elders. But we do follow up with all the calls and issues that we have and bring them to you like today when we need to. So we're supposed to be off, but we're not. Pardon?
Us as board members, we talk regularly.
And we do communicate as much as we can. Eugene, I agree, there's no service in many of those areas, so, when we try to connect, we're oftentimes cut off. So getting something to correct that is really, really important for safety, for everything, for connections, good communication with people. I know we always come with a big load of issues, but that's what we do. As elders, we're supposed to be responsible for our families. They look up to us. So we try to do what we can for them. It wouldn't be too damn easy to sit back in a rocking chair. I wouldn't. I'd die. And many other, that's why many of our people are dying. They're not getting up and moving around. We have to get programs back here again to get them moving. So I want to thank you all, but please listen to our biggest issue, and that is Indian Health Service. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I make some comments? Tito,
Yes.
I wanna make some comments. I'm gonna start with IHS. We did meet with IHS last couple of weeks ago, and I think what my suggestion is gonna be for the council is that we probably meet with them bi-weekly. And what we could do is I think the council could be that, I wouldn't call it a buffer, but I think, Tito, if you come up with the complaints that you're having at IHS, instead of you guys meeting with them, can you get those to us as the council, and we'll meet with them bi-weekly, and we'll address them with them directly, so we know that they get taken care of. And then we can report back to you guys. I mean, let's put the shoe on the other foot. I think this issue has been going on too long. So I think what I would suggest to the chairman and the rest of the council is that we meet with them bi-weekly coming up this month, in February. Meet with them bi-weekly and make sure that we address everything that we do. One of the problems that we've been having, Tito, is that when we were having our monthly meetings, you guys would have a list of issues, and then when the next meeting would come along, when we would talk about those issues that we had from the month before, you guys had a number of issues, more issues. So what was happening is those first issues that we were doing weren't getting addressed, and that's what we were talking about.
They weren't getting addressed at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so that was one of the challenges. So I think, and I would, like I said, I'll repeat it again. I'll recommend to the council here that we meet with IHS administration bi-weekly this next coming month at our briefings, and make sure that we get the challenges and get the concerns to them directly from the council, from us. That's what I would recommend on the IHS portion of it. So we can move forward. Because I don't think we're moving forward right now, because I attended all you guys' meeting. We're not moving forward.
We haven't been for 2 years.
Yeah.
They keep making promises, Mike. That's what we're saying, and we're tired of them.
Yeah.
We're dying.
So instead of them having addressed, I don't know, Chairman, if you'd like to do that or not, if we could meet with them bi-weekly, and basically you could give us a list of what you guys have, and we can address it as a council to the IHS and stuff like that. I think that would be a better way to do it. But you guys have to trust us that we are going to address these with them, which we will.
That's why we're here, because every meeting, we've been told that they're gonna get at those issues, and they don't. They haven't. They shift CEOs, right, Andy? They've done that to us, so we have to start all over again. I don't want that anymore. If it doesn't happen, something don't happen, I can reach out also to Deb Holland.
Yeah, but let's try this. I mean, that's fine if you want to reach out to Deb Holland, but let's try this. Let's try the bi-weekly meetings with the council, and we could keep in touch with you on what issues and what notes we have. I know Lori took some notes the last time in a couple other meetings, and we could share our notes and share our concerns. And probably the first or second week in February, when we have a date available, we can start meeting bi-weekly with them until we can get moving forward. That's what the council is doing with all the other boards and commissions. We're when they have challenges, we meet with them bi-weekly, and we work on their problems and stuff and their concerns like that. So I would suggest we do that. That's the IHS fix for, that's what we think about.
Well, it's been going on too long, and something has to change. Because nothing is changing for us. And all we're asking is we want good quality care, and we're not getting it. And, you know, many of you have seen your elders gone too damn early. That's not okay.
Be good,
If I may,
Tito.
Mr. Chair? I
Yes.
just wanna, comment. I know that, it's really frustrating, and I know that you had said that you don't wanna go with Bemidji, and you wanna go higher up. I think that we need to get everything documented, and then we bring it forward to Mr. Fry. And then if, nothing, like, we get excuses, never no solutions, and I don't like that. So I think when we meet with Mr. Fry and tell him, here's the issues. Next meeting, we wanna see something that's changed. And if not, we'll have it in writing, and that will bring us forward so we can move it up the ladder, I don't know who was taking meeting minutes, cause we met a lot. I mean, yeah, if we could pull some of them too, but I mean, we need to document to show that our voices are not being heard at the Bemidji level. Then we can go up further, so let's document and let's get, I know most of the issues too, and I think Lori has a lot down, Mike knows a lot of them, I think the whole council does.
And Indian Health Service doesn't. They were supposed to, how many meetings ago, supposed to bring those back and address them with us.
So let's do that, what Mike's saying, and let's get everything documented so we can see if there's any solutions, or it's just gonna remain to be excuses. If so, then we'll move up. Me go ahead, Tito.
Yep, thank you.
I just got one more thing.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, it's not on.
Just one more thing.
Yes.
I just wanted to provide some information regarding the water. So in the fall of 2021, we had a proposal from our water and sewer department, and that included a White Earth treatment plant, Nadawash treatment plant, Pine Point treatment plant, Chippewa Ranch treatment plant, a water tower rehab project, and then in Rice Lake, Pine Point, Nadawash, and at the Chippewa Ranch, all have stabilization pond repair, and in Rice Lake specifically, a wastewater extension. And then wastewater lift station upgrade to address the outdated controls and to create a backup power source during an electrical outage. So those are some of the updates regarding the water quality concerns and drinkable water in the different communities and how they'll be addressed. There's a couple of.
White Earth?
Yep, White Earth is in there. White Earth
I know
treatment
they're
plant.
in there, but
So what happens in the first phase is that they do a bunch of studies and tests and planning. They have to see what type of minerals and that type of thing are in the water so they can come up with the correct solution to addressing those specific minerals in each of the areas. And then also, and Mr. Bowman has all of the, he's the expert in those areas. Just from my recollection, this is the process that they go through so that when they do the upgrades and they do these changes, they have the appropriate things in place. So it's a planning phase, and it does take a little bit of time. And then once they get that planning phase, then they can go to the next phase, which is implementing all of these things. But the idea and the concept is that it will address the water issues in each of the communities that have been reported.
but when? I mean, what
So
are
it's
they?
already in process. So they've already had people out in the different areas doing water testing and that type of thing. And then they've identified what the needs were. That's how they have them all laid out here of what needs for each community are and where they found the different issues and concerns. I know that they did testing up to a certain point, and then this next phase would be the implementation of those things. And if it's,
Nadawash, you said was
yep, so again.
drinkable water, they can't drink that
No,
water.
what I said is that White Earth, Nadawash, Pine Point, and the Chippewa Ranch will all be getting treatment plants, new plants. And in order to get to the new plants, they have to know exactly what's currently the issues in those. So when they have the new plant come in, they know what type of new plant that they need in there. And that's the same with Rice Lake, they have a wastewater extension. And then in the communities of Pine Point, Nadawash, and the Chippewa Ranch, it is specific to stabilization pond repair.
Okay, then how are you notifying the people of the villages? Because, you know, nothing, they don't know.
So
that
this
something's
was actually presented by Mr. Bowman, in
Here, yeah.
Yep, here at the RBC, but what we can do is, see if we could bring a couple of things to the All Community Council, we can have him present the information again. He presented it once there as well, we can have him present it again. And then also, we'll figure out some sort of notification and timeline of when these things are happening or occurring within each of the communities.
Yeah, well, excuse me.
Which,
Yeah, we could talk more about this in a separate meeting. I think when we report back to you about what we heard from IHS, these other updates that you're hearing, that'll be something that we could add on to that, so. But they are gonna get to the root of the problem, so.
I know, but again, those are important. When our people are having to buy that bottled water, all of us, I should say.
Big rich to you.
Low income people want buying bottled water, it's really hard for us.
Okay, next up on the agenda is anyone from representing the Elders Council or the Elders Commission here?
Not officially? There's nobody from the Elders Commission?
Elders Commission here? Okay. Next up is the Waiters Housing, and like I said earlier, I have a quick update. There's currently 98 applications on our waiting list. There's 22 in Waiters, 17 in Rice Lake, 8 for Paunsford, Pine Point, 20 for Nadawash, 29 for Monoman, 1 in Elbow Lake, and 1 in Callaway. The vacancies, there's 8 in Pine Point, 2 are being rehabbed. There's 2 vacant in Elbow Lake, 1 currently being rehabbed. 3 vacant in Rice Lake, 2 being used as temp relocated for a rehab project. 4 vacancies in Nadawash, 2 are currently being rehabbed. 14 at Riverland currently being rehabbed, 2-bedroom and 4-bedroom to meet the waiting list needs. 3 are moved already pending application process. Working with HUD and the Health Homes Grant Opportunity, ROSS grant. We'll update more with the grant opportunities in the next report. So, the Tribal College has a quick report. They currently have about 115 enrolled students for this spring. They just go on and talk about the different classes they're going to offer and the collaboration. And of course, they do have legislation in the capital too for $1 million a year. So that's some good stuff that's going on there with the Tribal College. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Housing or Tribal College. Community Council, let me see here.
Waiters.
Are you good?
No.
Community Council,
Okay. Are you gonna do Monoman?
not on Community Council.
Okay. All right. Well, next up are the Community Council updates.